the DJs and daddy. In daddy, then daddy, in daddy, daddy, in daddy, in daddy. When I this DJ Wonder, Mr. Williams from Ghana.
Hey, it's your station. Anywhere, anytime. Epic Radio, 99.3 FM. So refreshing.
Pusha una cabo, this time I'm working twice ice on the beat. Keeps me listening to Epic Radio 99.3 FM. So refreshing.
Epic Radio 99.3. It's so refreshing.
Good morning, welcome to the Epic Morning Show. It comes to you live here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM. We are live on radio, live on TV, and also live online on our Facebook page. Mina Mohammed Jawajal, and today is Monday, 20th of November 2023. Now, this morning on the show, we'll look at whether government really gets an alternative for raise more revenues apart from raising taxes, because this is a fundamental economics argument now to do in our country. So we'll explore this debate a bit, but for things first, let's start with a morning message of motivation when I rise. So yesterday, one of my friends, this is a long-time friend, Ibrahim Kali, posted on his Facebook page something very inspirational and it got me inspired. And he posts the summary of a message where he posts on his Facebook wall is that life is hard and everything you do get for be hard. So effectively, you not get for stop, but you just get for choose your own hard. So for me, I took this a bit further and really try for understand, and my own understanding from that and exploring that particular subject further is that everything you try for do, life itself now a collection of decisions what they make. So every place we do now in our life, now conscious decisions that we don't make. We don't pick different things and different hard things and forget where we are in a moment. And everything is hard, but everything is hard, everything is difficult, but we get for choose we own difficulty we will be comfortable with. And the reason why we need for choose a difficulty right now is that we are choosing that because in the future we want for live in some form of comfort. So now two hard choices you get, but you have to make one of those hard choices. So in the future you will live in some comfort. Relationships, for example, are hard because it requires commitment, it requires accountability and dedication, but yet still, you still decide for being in a relationship with someone. So in a way, you don't choose your own form of hard, who you want to be with, etc., are all the conscious decisions. So they go into that particular moment there. But you also they choose somebody right now because you know, say, at some point you want a comfortable life. You want that all of the things that comes with having a beautiful family and growing up together and achieving a lot of things. For land book, for example, is also a very, very hard thing. But now something where they decide for do consciously, as hard as it is. But you also they do a hard now because you do because when you think about the alternative is you being illiterate, you being dropped out and not having a job, which is much more difficult. And then the benefit of you taking that hard route now is also having a fantastic life in the future, where you will succeed, you get a career and make money, you make some money and live a decent life. So just because life itself is hard, or anything we decide for do it hard, not necessarily means we'll get for stop. We can't stop. We have to pick. We always have to make difficult decisions. But the benefit of making those difficult decisions now is that in the future, I know they promise you say get for be easy. I'm just promising you that it might be better. So choose your difficulty now, the difficulty where you able to manage. Choose your difficulty now where you able to live with. Choose the difficulty now where you sabi, because like I say, in the future it might not become easy still. It will still be difficult, but it become less and less difficult because of how much work you don't put into them, because of how long you don't do them, because of how well you don't do them. So all of these things are things we for consider. So life itself is a bundle of hard choices, and every day we have to make one of those choices or even several of those choices, but we have to make choice nonetheless, because at the end of the day we get for pick we own hard, we get for pick we own difficulty we will manage. This is the Epic Morning Show. We'll be right back.
no die man nothing. Me no kill person, so me no afraid nothing. I don't come off a start from nothing. Now me na general with a 5-star button. Oh, you want me can of this country in honor. We were born up and body 10 times harder. With the negativity catch na little corner. Dreams and aspirations, then ready for kill and bust a low bubble. Original identity. You ain't no know me. You better know me, yeah. Bad bubble, so me mama call me. You ain't no know me. You better know me, yeah. Will my first bubble. One man military, me legendary. Me no plan bad for nobody, yeah. Me back bubble school by the cemetery. Mentally, Jala University, yeah. Call me and I say, I'm the last man standing. Call me and I say, they can never bring me down. They can never shut me out.
Yana Orange, we busy but we customizing freedom. Now we glad for bring to you we new and sober offer. You inside this we one in town offer, you get the rights for pick the voice or data bundle where fits you lifestyle. Yes, now so it be. We dey make communication winner for you wangling. It no matter if you not posting we like long talk or posting we like for browse boku. You there for you. But tap all this, you get to run number SMS where you know they pay for. We don't add the match jeeper this gladdy. You mean say better thing day for all man. Ladida they are for you. Dial *889# for begin.
Orange.
This morning we'll go talk about taxes and whether really we government whether they are really forced to raise taxes just for raise revenues. Tax collection is a contentious debate any side going at the world. There isn't a one-size-fits model revenue generation for developing countries, especially. Every country can really determine how they want for raise revenue, taking into consideration the circumstances, the resources available, the economic structure of the country, and so many other things as well. In we own case here, government is finding more and more creative ways to raise revenue, but much of that creativity right now is all focused on raising taxes, something which the very small private sector will get are feeling suffocated generally. And this is something we're going to talk about because the 2024 Finance Act, for example, is a testimony to that creativity and how much it could hamper growth, but also on the other hand, how much it could contribute to government revenue. If you look at government revenue from January to June this year, there is up to 4.6 billion leones in revenue. This is over 100 million leones or so, less than what they actually raised last year around the same time. But forget more, popular commodities like rice, iron rod, cement are all going to be the target of new tax regime. We mean to therefore contribute more to the government basket. Government will lower the threshold of businesses for pay GST from 500 million to 100 million. And the perennial arguments we hear every year from all sides are two. Firstly, that government need for raising taxes there and collect more taxes as a way for generate more revenue and run the state. Secondly, private sector also they say we are being suffocated because now very, very few of we really didn't have the tax bracket. And every time you introduce a new tax, it is squeeze we more and more. So this morning, we will try to understand arguments from all sides. So stay with you when we come next. We'll have Rashid Conte for the General Secretary of the Sierra Leone Importers Association and a leading player in the private sector. We'll also go talk to Ibrahim Justice Ganawa as well, who economists here who really can shine light on a lot of these economic issues. Stay with us. This is the Epic Morning Show. And don't forget, with BNB, you can now be your own boss with just your smartphone. Become an agent with the BNB POS to then get access to all of the services them. You can pay your BNB, Ria, MoneyGram, and Western Union and other codes them to different customers them who want to cash money, send money locally, or even overseas, cash in, cash out, mobile money, send top up, buy ETSA, and so much more with the BNB POS. So whatever you have to do, if you have any problems with it, just call 072 500 000. And don't forget, the Epic Carnival will just get less than 1 month to go to the big Epic Carnival all-team mix, or sort of food, all of the DJs and everybody else who you love here at Epic Radio will be there on December 16 Monjasa Park for just 50,000. So wherever you are, get your tickets now. All right, let's get straight into a conversation here this morning. Good morning, Mr. Conte.
Good morning.
So we are at a time where, the finance minister don't go to parliament, he don't announce a new budget, but also governments, they try for raise taxes, we get for create more and more revenue for them. Owner from the private sector, how owner see this? Is there a problem with the approach with government they use for raise revenue?
There is nothing wrong with government for raise tax system, basically for get revenue, for feed into them flagship programs, them run the states, pay the police, schools, hospitals. In fact, now one major way how governments can go into economic development through taxes, basically. The problem what we get with tax is if you overtax the private sector, then you kill basically the economy, you kill the private sector. And let we realize this one, we get one of the weakest private sector in Africa, that is Sierra Leone. Point for me, huge companies, them, corporations, them, multinationals, them within the country. Probably in one hand, you can able to condemn. If you look at what we get a lot of micro and macro business systems, small companies, them, people that they sell in the street, whole things they sell in the street, little shops, them. The big one, them, these are like the rice importers, them, the petroleum importers, them. Now they're not the big one, them. Then you get a very tiny fraction of other importers, them, who accounts for nearly 70% of the economy. If you tax them people then day and kill them, then tomorrow, who else you go able for tax? The small companies and the micro companies, them, I not say don't tax them, but tax them in a way where prudent, where they go able for afford, where you go allow them for able for grow to big fish tomorrow, we go able for push this economy. But if you overtax, then you kill the economy, then you kill the small companies. Them. Look at the developed countries. Them. Let's look at America. The Democrats them, and the Republicans. Them. Then both they fight against each other for bringing taxes them down. In fact, I look at one congressman who they ask a simple question, say, would he make Africa poor? The guy say, taxes. Everybody in the room laugh. When that guy analyzed what in tax they do to the economy, Mrs. everybody was like, it get a round of applause. Because when you get low tax system, it attracts foreign investments for coming to the country. You go get the companies like Coca-Cola, Carlsberg, Kellogg's. These are big companies that will go kind of the country because they know if they can't operate here. So then get the incentives them, then they pay low tax system, and you know to the too much tax is the broadness of the tax itself. Because if then company then pay boku tax because then they produce also and export to other countries, you go see how the government could get more revenue.
For government, they have always said they don't stay within the let private sector grow for let them breathe. In fact, since COVID, they gave a lot of tax incentives, tax breaks, or tax deferrals even to businesses. So then just they say it's now time to cash in on all of them breaks, then they will be don't give private sector.
Wrong timing. Wrong timing.
Would there even be a better time?
Well, now I would say here now is the worst time, in fact, because look at the devaluation of the Leon. Let me just give you just short story about myself now. So, being the Secretary General for the Importers Association, 2.5-3 years ago, I was privileged able to see some of the horrible figures them. What in would they spend for import rice, for example, $200 to $300 million for import rice when we unstable food in the country. We they eat about 5 containers chicken a day, for about 5 containers of eggs, imported eggs a day. Think about how much money will be for them left in the country where they go out. I thought to myself, you know what, make I go into agriculture and agro-processing for make myself contribute to a meaningful economic development and try for help for feed Sierra Leone. With this feed salary, they can made the bidder move 2.5 years, 3 years ago. So I started getting my own small investments. What I don't get now, UK, over 23 years in Camps alone, they run me little respect. I put them together, I go start up a cassava farm. From cassava farm, I start up a Gary factory. Within the period itself, I have spent, again in Leon, $1.2 million for it. Now, this year, when we do the accounts, because the Leon don't devalue by 98% within 18 months, the investment of $1.2 million today worth $650,000. So you tell me, when the Leon devalue, basically you see you money they wipe off right now you die. If you've been take loan 2.5 years ago from Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, $1 million in Leons, then you use them for go bring imports, $1 million worth of Leon over the 2 years period. Now you pay back Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, you discover say Sierra Leone Commercial Bank don't lost nearly 40% of that money there, because of the valuation of the Leons. And this is what the problem is. So now the Leon don't devalue to a level that people then they see them, so then they see the money, they all they disappear on their face. So it's a wrong timing.
So what you want to propose, for example, for make it happen? Because it might never get better, or it probably not going to get better anytime soon, but government has to generate money though. So waiting perhaps go be one own alternative to this.
That is fine. I don't say don't increase tax, but increase tax gradually. That is one. But the second thing we probably government will go for to do is, broaden the tax base. Again, I don't want to make Okada rider then can't hold me to ransom here. But let's just think about it. Them Okada riders there, so they pay 5,000 every single day to them.
Union.
To the union. Will they be able to contribute and say 5,000 for government tax? These are some of the creative ideas them. But again, just 2 weeks ago, a week or 2 weeks ago, we were here. We've been to talk about the government's enterprises them. Then government enterprises there, all they set now big liability instead of them contribute to the pot of revenue generation for governments who go help economic transformation. They also are a burden. Well, how long then a state-owned enterprise that will continue to become a burden to the states? Then not they contribute meaningfully, but then they drain on the little what government gets. Then we look at the power generation. When we do calculation, we discover, say, in the last 10 years, what in both governments and don't spend just on power generation, on the car power ship, before we own 2 car power ships. So why would not be able to do that? But not only that, again, the way how the then government enterprises are then set up, not to meritocratic institutions them. I could bet you, if you double the price of electricity today on what's in the power generation they get, to be honest, you then not will still become profitable. Because I will tell you, as a matter of fact, what will happen, now so much wastage. Because the revenue they come in so much, then we'll find way how don't go waste them.
You mentioned a very brilliant solution about broadening the tax base, for example, GST requirements now, instead of targeting businesses we what to 500 million loans, they bring the threshold down to 100 million loans. So you see, in a way, government is also appealing to that for broadening the tax base as well.
Again, I'm happy that you brought that up. Again, because me and one person who been lead that advocacy there, PPD, with government for try to bring down the threshold of increase the threshold from 100 million to 500 million. Make I tell you about the GST. The GST now a tax, now a very complex tax. Now, a tax best practice, they tell you, say, for lay you able to implement them and make you run them successfully, you get a threshold of $50,000. Any business where they turn $50,000 for be tax GST registered, basically. And that has been the case when they enact them in 2010 and it came into implementation in 2011. Brilliant. And they work fine. Nobody saw it coming. No consultation. In 2021, we see them bring down the threshold from in original 350 million would be equivalent at the time to $50,000. Listen to this. So 100 million leons will translate to $8,000. So if they turn over $8,000 or 100 million leons, especially at the time when the leon don't devalue, you they discover, say, even the cookery shops them, wo they sell one bag, wo cook one bag rest, they go be GST registered. Small companies them will not get nothing for do with GST. They all been don't get into this net. So then they drain them. Now that been bring the revolts and the strikes, then lock shops them for let the threshold go up. I mean, then people there, we can design for them. Again, government don't listen. A tax, a flat rate of tax. Because then boku and then small. And these are people then would they turn over just for it. For example, let me give you, when you sell this yellow butter oil, some of them, to be honest, na the butter, na the profit. And this woman get 3 picking them na us. He get picking them when they go school. He get for it. He get for pay transport for them. So if butter na in profit, he sit down all day in the sun. He get for buy small cookery. He get for buy water for drink. Then you come impose GST per 15%. It's difficult. But government can turn around and say, you know what, the GST itself, yes, now somebody else they pay them. Which is so true. But una own them, go around and tell people and say, you know what, when you buy rice for 900,000, make sure so you put 15% on top again and give the trader the 15%.
Yeah, but the problem with the GST is that when owner as the business people don't pay the GST, when they transfer the cost at every level down to the consumer.
Absolutely, and that's what they try to explain. Because you get for transfer them and you get for involve input and output. Because if a small trader go buy one bag rice from, say, CTC, it bring them. Whenever they sell the one cup price, basically, you get for add 15% per annum. Add the 15%, say, you get them. Then you don't, somebody get for consider and say, hey, now so you buy the rest. Okay, when you buy the rest, so now this 50% you collect 9 amount to this, the sugar we been buy again at 50. It's complex. So that make them raise the threshold to a level only people then will have the means, get the structure for able for implement them, they implement them. But again, I commend governments, then don't listen, then don't increase the threshold to 500 million. Bravo for government. This is a listening government. If not, that's what they do, with the consult, with the dialogue. To be honest, a lot of things and lots of problems and what would they get, we know we forget them. Let's continue for dialogue. The country itself, now we all get them. I go on for see Usai we they get economic transformation. I go on for see Usai we they get one of the biggest airports them. I want for see Usai we they get one of the biggest seaports them. I want for see Usai we they send we Pekin and go to the best universities them abroad, then come back and can help to this economic development in the country. I want for see Usai roads them, hospitals them. And the only way we can for do that, one major way is increasing taxes or get tax from corporations, them, executives them in the country.
And one of the things is that for a very long time in this country, government, the debate on taxes, government almost don't lose them or give up on even winning the minds of people. people get apprehension about taxes. Every time you talk about tax increments or even taxes, people they frown at them. I mean, they would like the development that comes with it, but for payam itself. So government really, their first job now for really make sure people are excited even to pay taxes because they are losing money by that.
We've been there in a debate just about a week and a half ago. So I've been member of a panel when World Bank launched the Sierra Leone report itself, economic report itself. The senior analyst there on taxes used one word, and he was very clear. He said, nobody know how to pay tax. He said, Mrs. Efna Aso, they work. The Ministry of Finance, and now for pay tax. By nature, people don't want to pay. But you go create an atmosphere outside, people then they see outside the taxes, then they go. To be honest, willingly, people then go say, you know what, I'll pay me tax. In fact, there are countries, them, like the United States, people are proud to pay their taxes because then they see how the revenue is being disbursed. I'm not accusing any government, but also they see wastage. Also, they see minister they appoint and today when I will all be the worker and the following day they bill to us. It's difficult. Also, they see you compare on a commercial university, on all the drug. All of a sudden, it gets a government appointment. They begin to bill 2-3 us, them flash a car. You gotta be concerned. You see, so it is not the amount of tax we they generate. It is the prudent allocation of those taxes and use of those taxes that people then get concerned about. You see, but again, we all get a moral responsibility for pay with tax system. Businesses get a moral responsibility for pay with tax system because only with tax system, now take government. Well, one of the ways them was like government they get revenue for run flagship programs and run the country. Economic transformation, economic development is from taxes. To me, one person who can always be very embarrassed when government begin to talk about development partners, them, donors, them, every single time we do. Look, if you get a lion and you put in a cage for 20 years, it become this monster lion and left them free, now the bushes them, for make it go live for itself. Because it don't used to get one sheep every morning, to be honest, even mouse in the for catch. And that's the situation this way. Because Africa, Sierra Leone, we all don't become so donor dependent and donor driven. And this is sad and it's worrying. We don't go through this for the last 30, 40 years. After we don't get independence. 60 years down the road, you still they go to your mama, they go tell them, say, can't help me. It's shameful and it's disgraceful. So we therefore begin to move away from that. But not just tax. You get other ways and royalty from the minerals. Then we are endowed. God gave with these huge mineral resources that in country there, so now Africa. But yet still, it seems as if the minerals themselves has been a curse rather than a blessing.
All right. I'm going to come back to you. Let me come to Justice Ganawa. Good morning.
Good morning, Jawad.
So we talk in a context to say we now look at governments then get other ways for raise revenue apart from just focusing on tax, because lately would they feel like say the only thing wouldn't they focus on really now taxes.
Yeah, government gets several ways for generate revenue, but the reason why they pay so much focus on tax now because to me easy forget. So and also then things say for satisfy IMF then conditionality of increasing domestic revenue mobilization now by making sure that they're able to meet this threshold of domestic revenue generated to GDP. But I think say we get different areas of government able for this domestic revenue significantly, like the trailer will get now out IGR, for example, they look at state-owned enterprises. You know, in Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, then they use them state-owned enterprises as cash cow. What do they mean? It means say, now then institutions and then they serve as like the reserve for government in terms of most of the developmental projects that they take. So if we really want for increase on the revenue mobilization, I think say tax very important, but to me, I dey think say we get other areas and we go be proper, because in economics we go to refer to as proper growth strategies, where you dey implement things them, where at the end of the day, it go create development, but the impact go reach the poor people or the vulnerable people. Like we budget, we say, the theme I'm say for maintain macroeconomic stability and making sure we reduce the pressure on the poor and vulnerable people in the country. But if you say you use tax, and at the opposite, it's like what you say and what you do totally direct and indirect, because at the end of the day, whatever thing we talk about tax on essential goods them and services, naturally they hit on the poor people them. So I think say government for focus one on the security market again. Now other area and the way the central bank will able for utilize for the generate revenue for the country. We get government state enterprises, then we know they do well. I've been mentioned earlier. And we also get areas where we get a lot of leakages, then we government not they take into consideration. Because for me, it's not just about the generation of revenue. Where you generate this revenue, which you use them for do. Because if you generate XY amount, as me what I be they say, right, Jishno say, when people they pay tax, the appetite for pay tax is not in any human being. Nothing when a culture where they inculcate. You try for you bring them small. Then one of the things where they serve as an incentive for let people and pay tax. Now when they see say waiting and they put the money into, they see development. May you remember back the days of one of the former mayor winner about George Williams. When people then say when we say for pay 5,000 units at that time local tax, we even made a bluff with that particular paper. They say, I don't pay me tax, you don't pay tax. But because we notice say later on the funds and go into things that we not really create any development for we will live in a Western urban, the Freetown City Council, which end up for happen, the appetite for and die significantly. So I think say for a medium term, we will try for recover from all of the shocks them, the COVID, the Ukraine war, all of them find details here. We focus not for be too much on tax. But for me, I think I misplaced priority in this particular budget. The Finance Act come with a lot of new taxes that way they don't come out, they don't carry them back. So at the end of the day, it's more pressure than waiting actually for be. We get areas where we talk of royalties, my brother mentioned here. When you look at waiting we get back from the mining companies, and nothing not do we good for right home about. So these are areas and the way for they make money, generate revenue, but we always focus on tax because now we think it's easy for we for.
The most contentious thing in the 2024 Finance Act now the 5% on rice. And the reason, according to government, the own rationalization are that when you put import duty on rice, you take 5%, you protect the local market. Is that the way you see it?
So I can always say this, when they do policies, we really need sober consultation. I think if you consult with the private sector, consult with people in academia and differently, you will know say this particular thing, for me, now a miss point. You know they create a market for the local, you create productivity for the local markets. That means you want to produce locally by increasing tax. Mind you, say you get what you refer to as a proper. You want for make sure say the lives of the vulnerable is actually being uplifted, because how much the salaries continue for be the same. Food inflation, rice now one of the staple food. Now the country is if somebody eats all day, jawad, and not eat rice, they say not eat today. What in that simply mean? It means say now one of the key commodity now one day where we see we na Sierra Leone and say we eat. So if you increase a tax, you say you want for first time money day, so that at the end of the day, local productivity will increase. How it happen? What in the framework? What in the platform we get for produce? The local farmers them. What you don't give? What are the incentive for them? Number one. Then two, when you look at this 5%, realistically, may you know say the impact not be felt too much by people who be to say already they na the middle income level. Because then people are on a bag of rice and still go buy. The impact go there, but then people already buy by cups, now then go feel and more. So if the argument na this say you create room for productivity, I don't think say we problem not just about productivity. We get so much for do.
And the argument is also about protecting the local farmers. And I know say at some point this is something we don't try before for protect local companies like brewery. There was a time we'll say, let's raise the tax on imported alcohol. So brewery, for that short time, they didn't thrive. But we came to learn that brewery not be even get the capacity for constantly meet the demand at the markets.
Yeah. So, you know, this issue of protecting the local farmers, them. If you do this, you increase the tax of rice, you even can go to 50%. You are not protecting them, because what is supposed to be done to enhance their capacity is not yet been done. Because when you want to protect somebody, like what we did so, if they want for like we reach a particular level, EPIC as an institution, we want for reach to another level, we get for build the capacity of the one they within an EPIC. You know they say you for shut down other radio stations, for let you build the for let EPIC will able for rise up. If the capacity of EPIC they down there, no matter what you do to all of the other radio media institutions in the country, people will just decide for say, okay, let's forget for listening salon radio stations, and let listen to radio stations abroad, or you go capital, or you even listen to BBC 24/7. So waiting, I think, saying the problem here, we really need for do the groundwork. I keep on saying, as a country, we get problem with policy sequencing. We they use you get policies the way they use where you don't get foundation. There is no way you go talk to you and can float your house beside you know don't do a foundation. Now that's not they happen now in the country. When you look at this budget, all of the details are inside the Jawad, I'm telling you, then we get a lot of misplaced priority in the budget, in the Finance Act, a lot of misplaced priority. So at the end of the day, if you say you want to protect the local farmers, how are you protecting them? You cannot protect local farmers. They don't even get the required equipment for produce. They say they protect them. When you increase them, then even the one who they produce, now come to reality. The rest of the produce, I keep on saying it's in a different media houses where they go. The rest of the produce in a salon, productivity don't increase. I remember we get a meeting with the former Chief Minister, J.J. Safa, where they talk say, once for like we champion